wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop coming.
Hola, benavidos, my friends. Welcome to another live stream. I'm going to be showing you guys what I use to draw my sketches, and I'm going to draw a sketch live for you guys. I'm going to be drawing Marvel's character called Venom, and if you guys are unsure who Venom is, shame on you. Created by Todd McFarlane, and it's a fantastic character. He's in the world of Spider-Man. He's one of Spider-Man's most popular known antagonists. You know, I think he's a really, really cool character, and I've never really drawn anything Marvel or really superheroes. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna give this a shot. I want to pick, you know, something really, really cool. So I'm gonna show you guys, if you guys are interested and wonder how I render, how I get my drawings to look like the way they do, and what am I using? What type of tools am I using to create this type of look? Well, the tools that I am using are custom made. These aren't tools that are available inside of Clip Studio. The great thing about Clip Studio is that it's highly customizable. They allow you to even customize their own brushes. You can tweak their brushes, make them much more comfortable for your style of drawing and for your needs. And they also allow you to be able to build and make your own brushes. So it's a wonderful program. It's designed with the creation of comic books in mind. So you can draw your comic book, you can pencil, ink, color, and you can now even letter and lay out your entire comic book and just print directly from Clip Studio Paint, all in one program. Now, I use Clip Studio Paint for majority of everything except for my pre-press. So I still use Adobe products when I am going to press with my comic books. What you see here on the screen, this is my comic book called Darklanders that will be launching in 2025. I am hard at work at this comic book right here, Darklanders. It is a dark horror Western, and it's got cowboys in here. You know, it's in the 1800s, post Civil War era, but we're bringing in the supernatural into this world in here. There's a lot of lore from indigenous, you know, Native Americans. There's a lot of supernatural. There's also a lot of lore from from Mexico, you know, and you know, from Mexican Indians and Mexico. Mexico's been around for such a long time, and then it became under the rule of Spain, under the Spaniards, before it became part, before Mexico won their independence, and then from that, it became part of the U.S. So there's so much history in the Wild West, and the Wild West is, you know, when the birth of America, and there's just so much story to be told. So there'll be some of that historical history in it, but then a lot of imagination. So what do I use to draw and to get my art to look like this, to get it to look like traditional pencils? So if you can see here, all these pencils, and I'll remove the logo. This is all digital. Everything that you see right now on this screen was done digitally. I did all this straight from imagination, and every single line put down is digital. And how do you achieve this type of look in your digital work? Now, if you're like me, and you're using digital for the advancement in technology to speed up your workflow, whether you're an aspiring artist or professional, but you would like to work much more efficiently and faster. Digital is definitely the way to go. The technology is finally arriving, allowing us as artists to elevate our skill and to streamline our workflow. So this is why I use digital for majority of my work. And there are a few, of course, sacrifices. One is that you won't have a tangent piece that you can hold in your hand, but you can print out and have prints. Many artists at conventions are selling prints because prints sell much more often than original art. So if you want to sell your artwork much more frequently, you do it digital, get a nice print, offer it available at your table at conventions, and you can sell hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them. I've sold, many prints myself at a convention that I've done and worked on in my comic book, Dragon Rage, that I had done, and sold way more prints than I did original artwork, just because, the price range is it's much easier and manageable for people. All right, so we're going to close this one up. Now I'm going to show you guys something here. I mentioned here that I customize and I make my own brushes. The reason for that is that I've spent hours and hours searching for brushes out there that, to find a brush that looks traditional. And I waste hours and hours and hours trying to find these type of brushes. So I go through and I've downloaded brush after brush after brush, and to no avail, nothing, just hours and hours wasted on brushes that do not work like traditional tools. I think the primary reason for that is many artists today are learning to draw digital. I am an older guy. I started drawing back in the 90s. I started working professionally in 1993 in comic books. And my first professional work was then published in 94. And so I started drawing with wooden pencils and then moved into pencils that were 2mm graphite lid and with a lid holder that you'll find in like drafting sections of your art store. So I've gotten used to the feel of pencil on paper. I love that feel. There's nothing else like it. And so when I went searching for digital pencils, I'd find some decent pencils, but nothing that could give me that exact feel. So I then spent the past year working on one pencil that can do everything. And then decided after that I would then make a second and a third pencil. Now, I only have 3 pencils because you do not need more than that. You don't need to flood your application by loading it with hundreds of brushes like I did. I went through and after brush searching for a good brush, couldn't find one, spent so much money that was wasted. And I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to streamline this. So my kits have the essentials. They bare essentials. There's nothing in there to pad it so that I could say, hey, download this, buy this kit because it has over 1,000 brushes. And you go, whoa, what the value? Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. I will buy your snake oil. Oh my God. Well, I'm not here. I'm not selling snake oil. I'm not in the business of making brushes. I'm not in the business of really selling brushes. So I design things to use in my work that I use professionally. My peers out there, other professionals, have asked me, Jimmy, what are you using? How do you get that look? How do you get that type of traditional look in your work? And I just said, well, I make my own brushes. I take a traditional tool and I create what's called the material. I will scan in that texture of the tool, that line quality of that tool, and I will then take that in and digitize it. I will make that into a digital pen, and it takes hours and hours of research and development making these brushes. And so I only make what I'm going to use. So when you see my kits, I'm going to show you guys my kits. Each kit is separate. There's one for inkers and there's one for pencilers. I don't have a kit combining them both. because there are some that just want to have the inks and some that just want to have the pencils. Everything that's in these kits is necessary, and each one is different from the other. There are a few people that have been a little bit confused and asked me, well, I've got the ink kit and I've got your templates. Why would I want to get the pencils and the templates for the pencils? It's two different types of templates. If you guys out there right now that are artists understand this, you guys that are pencilers and inkers, you both understand that there are two separate types of art skills. They will need two separate types of kits to specialize in these different areas. As you start with one and become comfortable enough with one, then move on to the other and combine your two kits together. But each one needs separate elements to get started. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about with this particular template that we're about to look at. But before I begin drawing, I'm going to start drawing some Venom today. I want to show you guys real quick the links in description of this video. So go on over to my website. And as I mentioned, I am not in the business of making brushes. I've actually, well, I guess I am, but I'm inadvertently got into this because of I created the things that I needed for my professional work. I was inking David Finch. Traditionally, Dave Finch, top tier, one of the best in the industry. And I was inking, guys like, Dave Finch. I was on Avengers. I've inked, Brett Booth. I've inked, top tier artists where I worked hard to reach that level. Now I wanted to go digital because I want to take advantage of the technology and streamline my workflow. And I also want to save money. Art supplies, traditional art supplies are rising. Prices are constantly rising. They're elevating each and every year. Art supplies traditionally are becoming a bit more scarce. The quality is diminishing on many of them. And so with that happening, I decided, I wanted to go digital. When I went digital, nobody, not one single brush, and I mean this respectfully to all the other guys out there, artists that have created brushes, not one person out there created a crow quill that worked like a real crow quill. And I was frustrated. I spent so much money and time downloading crow quills when I was new to Clip Studio. I had no idea how to create brushes. I barely knew the program, and I spent hundreds of dollars. And I had not one single crow quill out there that functioned like a crow quill or that could print quality line work. It would look good on the screen, but then when I printed them in the comic book, it wasn't giving me professional line work, and it would cost me jobs. So I'm an inker, 30 years experience. My brush set, my inker brush set is brushes created by an inker for inkers. It's the only brush created by an inker for inkers. So when you come and look at the brushes, and the thing too is I've lowered my price. My kit used to be $25, and it's sold like hotcakes because there's nothing out there. All my professional peers, think of the big name inkers and artists. Yes, they are my customers. They have bought my brushes. I'm not going to out any of my customers, but no, yes, many of them have mentioned it. The one who's said it out loud, and I can say it, and name drop his, Dave Finch. He bought my brushes. Dave really likes my brushes. He's not a digital artist, but he got my brushes. The other one who's mentioned is who said publicly that he's got my brushes, Chuck Gibson. Chuck Gibson was an inker over at Wildstorm back in the days of Wildstorm. I mean, he's inked guys like Brett Booth, Jim Lee. You name it. I mean, he's been on, tons of comic books back in the 90s. He's a quality inker. He's downloaded my brushes. He's back inking digitally using my brushes. And he's a professional inker. So I lowered this price down, $15. Now I know $15 can still be a lot for everybody because we are all, everybody, the way the economy is going, things are very expensive. So I decided to lower my price to try to help you guys out as artists out there, because I know that as aspiring artists, we're on budgets. Professional artists, we've got the money in there. It pays for itself. But as an aspiring artist, you have to ask yourself, I cannot make a decision for you. You simply ask yourself, is improving my skill worth the investment of $15? You know, for me personally, if someone were to say, hey, you can get these quality brushes and this kit and videos and tutorials showing you how to become a better inker and how to ink faster digitally for only $15, and you get 3 hours of tutorial videos, and you get artwork that you can even practice and ink over, quality brushes, and you get auto actions that at the end, you click a button over your artwork, it'll convert it for you. It'll get the hues, the tone, the levels. It'll convert it and make it look more traditional. All of that, only $15. Now you have to ask yourself, am I worth that? Is my skill worth that? You know, aspiring artists, I know it's a bit tougher because you're not bringing in that money. Professionals have come in, they buy my brushes, no questions asked, because they already know. If you know, you know. If you're asking questions about why should I buy these, then I understand you're an aspiring artist. You're beginning. It's a good question. You know, it's a good question. I welcome that question. But all the professionals out there and the thousands of you, literally 5,000 of you have bought my brushes. And, you know, many of you guys are professionals out there in different industries, and not just the comic book industry. And you guys have no questions asked. You guys just get it and go, because you know exactly the value you're getting, you know, and nobody out there has created any of this stuff. There's nothing like this for Clip Studio Paint. It blows my mind. Why has nobody created this? You know, I don't understand, but I think the reason is because art's competitive. And I think people have created really good tools to help streamline their workflow, and they don't want to share it. I don't want to share it. I bet you there's a lot of really good brushes out there, because I'm not the only brush maker, and that just aren't being shared. I'm willing to share mine out there with you guys. The pencil set, only $12. And I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit here, and then we're gonna get started drawing. So I'm gonna show you guys some artwork. So we got through the quick service announcement, the quick commercial introduction here, in case you guys are wondering. Let's get rid of that, and let's get into the fun stuff, what you guys are here for. All right, so when you download the pencil set that you get those, you're going to get just like Electric Pen Media right now. He's gone over, he says, I'm purchasing those pencils right now. Awesome, man. I appreciate that. Many of you guys that are my peers, and I say my peers that are working professionals, have downloaded it. I get to see the customer names that come through and emails, and I go, oh my God, so-and-so bought my pencil. This guy's on this big Marvel title, and he bought my pencil set. I get excited. I still do when I see, you know, my peers getting it, and I go, wow. It really lets me know that I've created something great here. And so when you download this Electric Media, you're going to see that there are going to be 3 pencils. You're going to get this template. Now, one of the pencils that we're going to get, I'll go through the pencils, but let me start with the template and how the template works for you guys. Comic books, when you work in a comic book, when you work digitally, you want to work at twice the resolution that you're going to output. You want to work at, so if you're going to print your comic book, some comics get printed, some printers will print at 350 DPI. I'll call it DPI because I'm still dots per inch. It's pixels per inch now. It's PPI, but I still have a hard time getting used to it, so I'm still DPI. And most will print at 300. Most will print at a 300 DPI, so which means you want to work at twice that resolution. You want to work at 600 DPI. The reason for this, it allows you to zoom in, add a little more detail and textures. Then when you output to 300 and you shrink it down, it cleans up the artwork even more. It looks much more crisp. It has more detail into it, and things just look better. And at 600 DPI, when you're working at 600 DPI, if you ever need to send your printer or your publisher artwork that's going to be printed for large banners, our posters, our billboards, and they say, can you send me a 400 DPI, right? Because we never really print. Nothing really ever goes over 350. Sometimes, rarely, they'll want an image at 400 DPI so that they can reduce it down to 350. Sometimes even most banners are printed at 150 DPI. So, but they want the 400 for the publisher, allowing them to be able to manipulate, clean up the art, work with the art comfortably digitally. So when they output it, it outputs beautifully and clear. So that's the kind of stuff that that you'll run into. So working at 600 DPI, it gives you enough room. You're still 100 to 200 above your output. So whatever you're going to output. Now this template is going to have two styles of templates. When you go and you work with a printer, generally your comic book is going to be printed at you're going to work at 6.88 by 10.5. That is a full bleed page right there. You're going to work within that image area. That's going to allow you whenever your printers want to crop that edge, there's a tiny little crop mark that you'll see. So it can cut off those edges and you'll be safe. You'll have safe areas. So I have two templates within this penciling template, depending on the style you want to work with. Okay, so if you're just coming in from traditional and you still want to have that very traditional feel, then you can see in here, I've created a template that will allow you to, if you want to, you can put in things like your book name. You can say, my book is called Darklanders. You can even, what issue am I working on? You can put the issue on there, what page, who is the artist? The artist is Reyes. And you still have all your area where you want to put in any of the trims and any of your copy. You want your word balloons to be within a safe image area. You generally draw traditionally within a 10 by 15 image area on a 11 by 17 artboard. So when you draw traditional, you draw an 11 by 17 artboard, you draw in a 10 by 15 image area, and your text should all be within even tighter than that, which is about a 9 by 13, somewhere around there. And you can see here, I have here the instructions for the double page spread. I do have a double page spread template, which I've created to the exact measurements for most printers in the US, for most standard printers, because Clip Studio Paint does not come with a double page spread template. So if you're just simply drawing a wraparound cover and you don't need multiple pages, Clip Studio Paint has left you hanging. But don't worry, I got your back. I created a double page template, comes with this kit. There are free kits on my Gumroad. There is free templates you can get, 11 by 17, and you can get one that is roughly about this size for free. So if you're asking yourself, if I can go on your Gumroad and get a free sample brush, I can get free sample artwork and free templates, why get this template? Well, these templates are set up to help you when you're drawing so that when you get ready to go print, you minimize the room for error. It's very, very important that you draw in the proper areas within the right range, in the right measurements. And if you're a novice, then, where do you get this information? Well, you get it here in the kit. The kit it's a set and it has everything that you need. Draw within, just follow the instructions, draw within the areas, and you don't have to worry. Professionals already, just want to pop this stuff in and get to work because we have deadlines. We want to get to work. We don't have time to fiddle with a program and figure things out. So this is why majority of my customers, over 1,000 people that have bought my brushes have been mostly professional working artists, because they know they pop it in, bam, it's ready to go. Let's get to work. Let's make that deadline. So if you want to draw within that area on that board, to stay within a traditional look, you can if you want to. If you say, I don't want to draw within that, I don't want to draw within that area there, Jimmy. I want to make my own area. And so what we simply do is you make a new layer, and I'm going to make a video and include it in this kit. I just haven't had the time yet because deadlines, plenty of things to do. So what you do is you can then make a blank white paper in the back, or maybe I'll just make the white blank paper for you and I'll update the kit. That'll be faster. So what you can do is you can hide the artboard that I've made that has all the instructions. By the way, it also says any art reproduced in there is permission of the copyright owner. So when you draw your artwork, there it is. There's your copyright notification there that it's your work. You can hide that. And if you want to work within the template within Clip Studio Paint. So here is the template within Clip Studio Paint. This right here is going to be your trim area right here. If you can see in the page. And what I will do is I'm going to scroll down a little more. Okay, Clip Studio. Oh, there we go. All right, so you can see here, I didn't go all the way down because Clip Studio, but you can see there, that is the trim. Anything outside that farthest square box will be cut off. That's not going to print. So you don't want anything in that area. You want to draw within that secondary box that I've created on here. And I won't go all the way down with it. I'm just going to kind of just make it real quick and fast. So you want to draw within these two areas. Let's just say they're all the way down. I don't want to confuse you guys there. So anything outside that blue line, you run the risk of it getting trimmed. You want to draw within that area. Generally, your and I can even add this within the template to give you guys even more safer guidelines. And I think I'm going to do that. And I do that with all my kits. I update things with my kit and I upload them and you guys get them for free. Any updates I do in the set, it's forever free. And once you download my kit, if you get a new computer, you just log back in a Gumroad and you download it again for free. So you don't have to worry about making a separate purchase or ever losing your purchase. It's there for free. Even if I remove it from my Gumroad page, Gumroad keeps it for you on there. Once you've purchased it, you always have access to it. And any updates, absolutely free. So these are the areas. The green, you want to keep your lettering within. The blue is where you want to keep your art. If you want to go full bleed, draw to the edge of the paper, and in that red trim area is where it's going to be cropped by your printer. The double page spread that I have has another important template. I did this within the double page spread to give you guys important information about the binding area. Professionals out there, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And so professionals are downloading it. You're getting that template. It's designed for artists, for penciling. You don't need all this in the inker kit because as an inker, the pencils are already done. You just simply inking over. You don't, as inkers, we don't have to worry about trim, bleeds. We don't have to worry about safe areas for dialogue, all that stuff. We just worry about, adding clarity and depth and cleaning up line work, right? And finishing the art. So the inker kit templates, yes, the templates are the same 600 DPI, the same 6.88 by 10.5, but they do not have the information, the important information that you need as a penciler. So that is the reason why there are two separate kits. Professionals right? Like I said, you guys already know why they're two separate kits, why they're two separate type of templates. You guys figured that out instantly. You knew it. A few aspiring artists have asked me, why are there two different kits? Why would I buy two different kits? Why would I pay extra just to get 3 brushes if I've already got templates? Different templates. And I thought I want to explain it. I don't mean this condescending in any way. I know that everybody's beginning at some point. We all begin at some point. I didn't know this information. I would ask. It's a very good question. So, you know, I'm not condemning anybody for asking that question. I'm simply trying to clarify that, you know, there are 2 different reasons, and professionals, you know, out there. I know that you guys already get this. Aspiring artists, you know, trust me when I say that these are kits and sets designed by a professional for professional use, because I'm not in the business of selling brushes just simply to say I've got 1,000 brushes. Stealth X5 for $2 says hello. All right. All right. So we got all that done. And I'm going to get started. I'm going to start drawing here for you guys just to have fun. I'm going to show you guys what these brushes do. My pencils, I'm going to take it all the way to inks, and I'm going to show you guys what you can achieve and what you can do with these pencils. I'll put them to action. You know, Jimmy, put your money where your mouth is. How well do these brushes work? Well, let's find out. The Watcher says, your art is great. I've noticed, in my opinion, your art has improved. Your composition, rendering, and line work are on a higher level now. Thank you. I didn't work every day. I didn't draw every day. I got into crowdfunding, and for the first time ever, I've never drawn a comic book. I've only been an inker. And no disrespect to inkers when I say only a inker. I just mean now that I've created my own book, I have found that I'm wearing many hats, many hats, and I've learned so much by drawing every day. So I am a big believer of draw every day, as much as you can, you know. And I like to sketch a lot. I do a lot of rough layouts, and like Dave Finch, when he starts drawing, I prepared a layout so we can get through this drawing faster, because I've got to finish fleshing out the art. I've got to render it. We've got to ink it. We're going to get all that done. I want to get that done as fast as we can, so that, you know, I know you guys are busy. If you like these pencils right here, you can change the color of the pencil. So if you start out and you say, well, I want to do my preliminary, let me get a thicker pencil so you guys can see it. And you say, I want to get my preliminary drawings, my underdrawing done. And, you know, Jim, I want to, let's just say real quick, we're just kind of sketching out, like, what do you want, puppy? What do you want? I'm drawing, I'm working. Sorry, my dog is, she's over here going, I want to go outside. What? So let's just say you wanted to do your preliminary sketch in non-photo blue. And then you decide that you will then want to clean it up and work over another layer and kind of just clean up your art more. Sorry, puppy, I got to draw with 2 hands. And let's just say we want to shift the teeth and clean them up a little more. I'm not going to go into detail in this one because I'm going to draw. As you can see, I'm going to get another drawing going. But there is that option. If you decide you want to do that within Clip Studio, you can change the color of the pencils. They have that option. You can go any color that you want to do, whatever your workflow is. If you're different and you're like me, where I just simply use the one button in Clip Studio Paint to convert my pencils, and then I trace over my pencils, and that's how I get them cleaner and them to look a little neater. And I hope my dog doesn't have to go to the restroom over there. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's get started sketching away. I'm just going to get rid of that blue, but yeah, we'll leave the rest of it. All right, so I'm going to use black. I'm using what I call the wooden pencil, and the wooden pencil is the one that I really, really like. This is the pencil, really, to be honest. You could do your entire drawing with this one pencil because you don't need 1,000 brushes. You know, I don't understand yet. It blows my mind why people sell these kits with 1,000 brushes in them. You don't need it. You don't need it. You need to minimize, get down to the bare essentials, focus on 2 to 3 brushes, and learn what you can do and master those 3 brushes. Because you get creative, think outside the box. Tons of stuff you could do with these brushes. I even have colorists buying my brushes and using them to color, which I didn't even think of. You know, just like, wow. All right, so that wooden pencil. The great thing about that wooden pencil is if when you're drawing, you want tilt. You want to be able to tilt, because when we draw with a wooden pencil, we rotate, we tilt our pencils. So you can draw a line straight, or you can angle the pencil on its side and get some really fast shading in there real quick. Look at that. I've never seen a digital pencil out there, and I've downloaded hundreds of them that just have everything in here where I can do a real light, real thick. I can tilt it, you know, and it gives me that really great soft feel. I scanned in an HB, the number 2 wooden pencil, because I like drawing my gestures and all my loose drawings with a very soft lid. HB is not really the softest lid. HB is just right in the middle. Then you have your B's and you have your H. So you're going this way, you'll have, let's say, a 2H, and over here this way, you'll have a 2B. B's are soft, H is hard, right? That's the type of graphite that you get. HB, the old number 2 yellow school bus pencil, right in the middle. I like to draw that way. Now I'm going to show you guys when I'm drawing how we get these big shaded areas, because I want to work fast. I want to get stuff done. So I'm going to describe the rest of this as we go. Let's just go through, finish up this Venom drawing using the number 2 pencil. And I'll try to talk as I go and articulate. So one of the things that I always do first when I draw is I draw rough. I always draw the gesture part of it really fast, like we did a little while ago in the blue, figuring out what I want. Now, when I draw my gesture drawing, I stay pretty far zoomed out. When I draw, I don't really zoom in that far until I use a different pencil for detail. But for you guys, I'm going to zoom in just a little more, because you guys could be on your phones or something. And after I got my gesture drawing down, what I do after that is I would do an outline, basically, where it looks like a coloring book. I decide where all my, after I've blocked in my shapes, decide on which shapes I want to keep. Some I got to tweak. Others I need to emphasize a little more. But when I start emphasizing my shapes a little more, I do that a lot in rendering. So you can see I just kind of work with this. I'm not worried about the detail yet. It's still a bit away from the detail. Venom should have like big teeth, just huge chompers, gums showing. I know some Venom doesn't, when some people draw Venom, they, let's take his teeth out, just go in different directions. I like the gum look because I like the Del Keown teeth. I like when we kind of show a little bit of gum, but some Venoms don't. And I think primarily Venom doesn't. I drew his teeth down further because I want, like I said, like that Del Keown kind of look. But if you decide, you know, you want his gums to just be directly sticking out off his mouth, we can go with that. Like that. I'm going to say, nah, I want to stay with my original. Trust your instinct. That's what I say. You know, trust your guts. Your gut. Part of me wants to make his teeth like just stick out too, like this. What's up, puppy? What's up? And oops, sorry, my dog is under my desk, stepping on stuff. She stepped on my Ethernet cord for a second there. Let's make his mouth. Okay, what do you want? Here's the culprit. Yeah, are you trying to detract my stream here, puppy? Huh? Is that what you're doing? Draw some teeth in real fast. Now, when you draw a mouth, one of the things that you always have to keep in mind, I'm just drawing in shapes. We can give him another layer of teeth. Let's say he's got one of the tooth up here that just kind of sticks over the rest. When you're drawing teeth in a mouth, a really good tip to remember is that there is, if you think of a soda can, right? We know what soda can that is with the wave, but we can't put the logo on it. So get down, puppy. Your teeth that you draw should always follow that shape of the can, right? Whichever way that you decide you want to draw the teeth, they have to follow right there. If you can see, say that's a chin, that's a skeleton. Right there, it's the bottom of a, let's just say that's a skull. And there's the teeth. It's like the top of a can. It's always going to have a curve to a mouth. You can't draw teeth straight, flat across. I've seen a lot of aspiring artists do that. And I was one of them. So don't feel bad. As you draw more and more and you study more and more, you will, you learn these things and you get better and better. And it wasn't until I really started drawing my own book that I went through and drew a bunch of stuff and then said, oh my God, that looks horrible. And I got better and better at it. All right, so I want to make Venom's tongue go all the way out. And I'm drawing that really kind of a sketchy, fast line. Then I want to bring, as things come closer to the camera, and I want to add dimension to this 2D artwork. And so I'm going to bring, no, puppy, what? Hopefully she doesn't have to go to the bathroom. I'm going to bring it up even closer. And this is going to be Venom's tongue. All right, I got to let these dogs out. I don't want her to poop in my house. So I'm going to let you guys look at the screen for a second, and I'll be right back. And we'll keep going through and do some really cool stuff here with Venom. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of rendering and shading. And then I'm going to just ink it and show you guys the inks. SES Powerlifting says, I got my pencil pack. All right, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Stealthlex5, is this a commission for fun? Yeah, this is just to show you guys why I've created brushes and how I use my brushes in my workflow. So I will be right back. I'm going to run and take this dog out. Let this dog out to go. I think she's got to go to the bathroom. Alrighty, I am back. Poor doggy, she had to go to the bathroom. So glad I didn't make her wait too terribly long. All right. Disfortunate pops in. He says, hey, the Watcher says, I'm trying to draw a comic book with my daughter. It's for fun, and I would love to print it someday. I'm a novice, and I'm trying to learn Clip Studio. I'm going to get your pens and pencils. Clip Studio Paint's a really great program. It allows me to resize, move things, change my mind, erase stuff, make decisions as I go, and I can make changes to the artwork. So I like that. The problem that I had at the beginning with Clip Studio, that thankfully you guys have me, and really don't have to worry so much and struggle the way I did, but was that there weren't any real tools, and it didn't feel quite like traditional. There was the having to get used to digital. There was that what you call that, the learning curve, and it was tough. But I've worked hard to create auto actions, to create things like brushes, techniques, things that I could really use to make things feel more traditional and not have to struggle so much. And so you guys can get these brushes, the kit, and you can compare them to other brushes. You can compare them to the brushes that are inside of Clip Studio Paint, and you'll see right away when I'm they're quality brushes, and they're a lot of work went into developing these brushes. And there was a guy named Scott Drummond. He might still have his YouTube channel. He actually was a guy that showed me how to make brushes. And then there was I used to work with a manga artist, and she showed me how to make brushes, because I didn't learn all that just miraculously. It was a lot of trial and error, a lot of frustration. I started trying to create brushes as early as 2018. So I've been working on brushes since then. All right, so what I do is I use the lasso tool, and I'll lasso an area. I have another brush, so when we want to shade in large areas, and I just simply go over it like that. You can see that would have taken, traditionally, that would have taken twice as long, but digitally, it's fast. So let's say we don't want Venom floating in a just floating around in the air, right? We want to give Venom a nice fill in that negative space, So I'm going to take my lasso tool real quick, mask the area that I want to shade in real fast. In this case, it's a lot more shading than I would normally do. Normally there isn't this much area to cover, but for the sake of demonstration, we're gonna do it. Okay, so you could take a regular pencil. If you were to take a wooden pencil or, keep going with the regular pencil, you have to do this. You have to sit there, shade and shade and shade, right? Forever. Well, now in digital, I have a pencil that if you want to, you can enlarge depending on how fast your computer is and how powerful your computer is. You can make it fill in that shade in that area so much faster. And we just go through, we cover it all right there. Look at that. And that entire area is now covered. We can then say, put little X's in there if we want. That's solid black. If that's, how you want to do it, how you want to work. And there's that solid black space. Venom is an alien. As I'm drawing him, I've never really drawn anything Marvel or anything. And I'm starting to realize as I'm looking closer at Venom, he's really closely designed to the xenomorphs. If you look at the way Todd McFarlane would draw him with that smile, the smile that Venom has, kind of like a pit bull smile or something. And very, very xenomorph, So I started noticing that, like, hey. I wonder if if there's any truth to that. I wonder if McFarlane was looking at aliens. And all right, so here we go. I'm going to start now just showing you guys some of the way that I work with the pen and ink. I'm going to go, I guess I might even just go into inks on this, but I want to show you guys some of the stuff. Well, maybe I should do a little more rendering with the pencil in case you guys are wanting to do more sketching with your pencil, with the pencils. So let's just do a little bit more rendering here on Venom. I'm going to shade him in all black like this. There's another technique I like to use. And it feels like feels like the old wooden HB lead pencil. It's nice and soft. I can tilt it. I can sketch away with it. And it looks and feels. And I can take my crow quill that I've designed and then just kind of put in these little white shapes in here that we'll see later once I ink it. But for that pencil, you can do things like this where you start to shade. If you want to shade in Venom like this. And there is a really cool feel to it. I mean, I'm telling you guys, once I started drawing with these pencils, my work got better because I could finally felt like a pencil. And let's say you decide you want to add in another, you want to add in even more detail. You want to get in little areas that are just a little finer. I have another pencil that is like the mechanical pencil, the kind you click, like click, click, click. I put it at a 0.7. If you decide, you want to get in there and do more detail, there's this pencil here. If you want one that feels just a little finer. So let's show the shapes of his gum and his teeth, right? And so you can get in there and do finer little lines if you want. If you want to feel like you have more control, I generally just like to get in there with the wooden pencil because I do all that fine line work with my quill. So I just need shapes just to remind myself what I was doing. And so that's going to be Venom's gums. It doesn't look like anything yet, but it will. So what I do is I convert my pencil line to non-photo blue, create a new layer up top. I title this layer inks. I take my non-photo blue layer, I lock it, and here goes the quill. Here's the crow quill that I've created. And if you've bought the pin set already, look for the update. Log back in your Gumroad, and you can get the what am I saying here? The update. All right. So I like to use Clip Studio Paint created a lasso fill tool like that. And we can just shade in really fast. Drop in ink so fast. This is already in Clip Studio, so thank God for that. You know, that's a way to really speed and streamline your workflow. Venom has a little head, doesn't he? I've never drawn Venom, so I'm kind of figuring out Venom. I mean, I'd have to draw Venom a few times to kind of figure out how I want to draw him, but and then we can use inside of my brush set. You get a brush that's called Chunky Spray, and you can do little spritz of saliva if you want. Clip Studio gives you droplets. You can use droplets if you want to. You can take my crow quill and have even more fun with the saliva just going everywhere. Just whipping out everywhere. Maybe even little pieces coming off his teeth. Well, let's make it look more like that. Make little pieces drip off the teeth. This is all with the crow quill. And just bits and pieces everywhere behind Venom. We could do even more things in the background behind Venom if we want to. Let's just say we want to create real fast. We'll make it straight lines. So let's just grab a perspective ruler real fast and just say we want to do this this ray real fast behind Venom. So I'm going to add these rulers and just real fast, just kind of and this is just real fast. Of course, if you take your time with your artwork takes time to achieve. And you know what? I'm going to change my direction. As I was realizing it, maybe the lines should be coming. No, I don't know. Let me see behind him. Yeah, we'll do it. I'm doing it right. I was doing it right. Let's put them back. All right, and we'll make more. Let's just whip these in there. Everything takes, digital speeds things up, but still takes a little time to do some stuff because it's artwork. You want to enjoy your work as you're going. Let's just start putting in a bunch of these speed lines. Right now, they don't look like much. You're like, what the hell are you doing your artwork? Art happens in stages and layers. I have another brush in here called the scratch knife. The scratch knife does just that. It'll scratch away the artwork on the artboard, giving it texture. We don't want to be too clean all the time. We want some textures in our work. Let's just go through and figure out here. Go back to the crow quill, add in just a few more of these big group lines. I'm going to delete my ruler and let's drop in some shape in here like that. Let's go back to, and you just combine brushes. You think of things, what would look really cool on the edge. Let's just put a couple of little specks in here real fast to dirty it up a little bit. You can make the brush bigger, expand the area in which you add all that effect. Whatever style you want to go with. Spray some droplets in here. And then put some dirtier, dark droplets. Add in some cool little shapes in here. These are just simply shapes. You could put some energy in the artwork. Just fast little stuff that keeping the momentum going, And we've got like saliva energy coming off of. Switch back to my crow quill, clean up some of these shapes a little bit, refine them a little bit, I should say. And we're starting to get this cool little pattern for just to make the illustration look like it's not floating in an area. We're just taking advantage of the negative space, adding in energy, texture, movement, the illusion of movement. And you'll notice I'm sticking with one or two tools. I don't go through and try to find, a million brushes. I stick with one or two because it takes time to switch a brush. And in that time, I could have been throwing down lines. The longer it takes you to put line on paper, the longer your art is going to take. And The more that you stop, the less momentum you're going to have in your illustration. You want to keep excitement, movement, make it fun. All right, now let's fill that line around Venom so we can define where Venom is. And Jim Lee does this a lot, where he'll fill in the negative area in the back with black to make the illustration look much more full, and so that the drawing doesn't just float. And now I can just take the lasso fill tool and let me just convert back to and get a look at my underdrawing. All right, then I just go back to my lasso fill tool, and I'm going to fill in and work on the spotting the black area. I want to give it a little bit of a rougher sketch look to the edge. And the great thing about the quill is it does all the work. It just simply has a perfect line almost every time. I feel like I'm cheating it, that I'm cheating so much. Because when I work with my quill, sometimes you don't know what the quill is going to give you when you're working traditionally. I still ink traditionally. I'll still do traditional work for, guys like Dave Finch and stuff. But you never know what that quill is going to give you when you're traditional. But digital, it's digital, just perfect line every time. So if you guys got questions, feel free to ask. I'll look up here in a minute, and I'll answer questions as I can. I just want to do the demonstration and get through that as quickly as I can. And I'm going to try to edit the video. I'll upload a version of this where it's just me drawing Venom, so you don't have to go through the advertisement in the beginning. You can say, F you and your brushes, Jimmy. I'm here for the art lesson. I want to learn. So we can, people are busy. Not everybody has time to watch a long video. So I'll try to edit a lot of my streams down to just the important stuff that I can. So you'll notice some of the videos in my library, I'm starting to do that, making them edited and shortening the videos. I'm gonna take stuff from little snippets and stuff from the streams and take the important stuff the stuff that, you know, where you can learn stuff. And there we go. And make it a faster, you know, 15-minute video or something. So I'm going to just save time and fill in this area right here real fast, like that, right? So if you were to fill it in black and just leave it black, it would flatten the area. So I could go through with my quill, work in all these little shapes like that. What I'm going to do instead is take my lasso fill tool, fill it in black, lower my opacity. And these are things that nobody taught me. I had to figure out as I was what works best for me. So for you, it's the same thing. Figure out what works for you. And if there's anything in here you can borrow, feel free, you know, any techniques, give them a shot. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to raise my opacity again. And I can always change my mind on these lines and put less line in there in his face for Venom. I'm going to shade in and darken in some of the overlapping. There's a negative area in between some of the mouth, the lip. It actually folds. And so I'm going to shade in underneath just some of that negative area in there around the mouth. I like when Venom has this really cool grin. So here is really cool, fast little line work. Leave just a little shape in here. It's a little negative space. Learned that from Dave. So all this stuff that I'm shading in here like this in black, if you just wanted to deliver pencils, and let's say you actually want to take the time and you're just going to deliver pencils to someone, you just take your lasso fill tool, you use the number 2, the number 2 brush that I've got, which is a graphite that allows you to fill in large negative areas. So you can get through shading so much faster with that brush. And it's what I've discovered that works for me. So we'll keep drawing here in ink and get through this illustration little by little. There are shapes in here that I want to emphasize. Some of these shapes. So we'll put in some cool little bleeds to help add value and show the transition of light. And add in just a little bit more value to the artwork so that Bernie Wrightson added in a lot of value in his work by the way he grouped his lines. And that created the illusion that there were like some gray areas and not everything was just a solid black and white like you see in a Magnolia illustration, which Magnolia is mastered. That's really how you should draw and think of, is in the Magnolia style. Think of shapes in the simplest form. And that could really help your creative eye, really develop your eye. I've learned a lot from studying Magnolia's work. So not in any way trying to diminish what he's achieved with those simple lines, but you want to think that way so that when you come in and do your rendering, you're emphasizing the proper shapes at their basic form, you know. So Venom has a lot of like muscle layer, one layer on top of another layer, and just so much that we want to really just, I'm going to start working on his tongue a little bit, and I'm going to add some textures in there. We really want to show those layers upon layer of muscle and bulk, just getting, they're built one over the other. All right, so I think what I want to do is I want to achieve, you can see where I start inking each individual little line, but what I'm going to do is another technique that I've taught myself is that I can use a guide to get the shape that I want. I wanted a really thick line like this. Using the guide, if you have snap to ruler, top of my screen up here, you can see those little icons in blue. That means snap to ruler. You want those selected. Now what I'm going to do is take my white, not my white, my negative. I'm just cutting out little pieces right here. And I'm going to draw into that. Just to break the momentum of that particular line. So you can see everything in the kit that I've put in there is functional. Everything is in there for a reason. Let me think of like shapes real fast. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but we just want to put in a couple of shapes in here for his tongue. Try to think of really quickly what I want to do with his tongue. So we zoom back. You can start to see the tongue coming through. It's tongue, the type of texture. It's almost like brain, almost like all that kind of stuff. John Palumbo says, "Hi Jimmy, waiting on that discount as you promised to give you outstanding review." Absolutely. I am going to comp you a copy of it, and in favor of your honest review. So you and if I can get another person as well, if you guys are interested, email me your email to Jimmy Reyes art.com, and the email address is contact So John being the first one, anybody else out there who, if you're watching right now, you have Clip Studio Paint, you want this brush, the pencil brush set for free, email me at contact@jimmyreyesart.com. I'm going to pick a few of you guys. And if John, if you've commented in that video, left your email, if not, just email me. I've already created yours, your discount code, and I'll send you a discount code. I'm going to comp it. It's going to be 100% off. You get the entire kit for free. All you have to do is just leave your honest review of whatever your opinion is. You just say, you just simply just give a 1 to 5 star rating based on whatever your honest opinion is of that, and I'm going to comp that for you, so that you just to share your opinion on there. And so anybody else who's interested and wants to leave or is willing to leave a review for me, and your honest review, of course, the goal is to get the more reviews on there, the more higher rating and ranking I'll get on Gumroad. Thankfully already people are, love the thing, and already it's giving such great reviews. It's already getting great reviews, but I still like to do that to get it jump started. So if any of you guys do that, email me at contact@jimmyreyesart.com, or go to jimmyreyesart.com and scroll over to contact at the very end. And when you click on contact, there's my contact email right there. And just send me an email, say I'd like to participate in that, in that program, and I'll send you your discount code for yours. You download it, get it, try it out, and then just simply leave a review when you get time. Hopefully, sometime shortly after, if you guys can. John says, I really appreciate it, Jimmy. Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate, I wish that I could, customize the kits for everybody. I know that there are a few people that just wanted the brushes, some that just wanted a template, some that just wanted one brush out of the set. Unfortunately, I can't break them up and do that for everybody, but I thought, since you were the first to ask about it, I'm going to do that for you, and I appreciate that. So anybody else interested in doing that, you guys are welcome to. So let me go through, finish up the drawing real fast. I'm gonna do the same thing on the bottom right here. Actually, I'm gonna freehand the bottom, and I'm going to change the line weight the opposite direction. This way we can compare what the type of lines. You can see the top one I did with a ruler, clean, smooth line. On the bottom, I got more of a bounce to it because I freehand that. If you decide you want to make it cleaner, you can always use a little bit of a ruler. It's going to freehand these lines real quick. Just throwing in a couple of lines, just trying to space them a little bit in a certain pattern. Nope. All right, let me rotate. I can throw that line. All right, trying to create some speed lines to show movement and momentum. put in little bleeds like this real quick. A few more lines. A couple more little bleeds just to put in for texture. Of course, I would spend much more time putting in all that stuff if I was this was an actual piece. This is just demonstration real quick. I want to put some grit in this thing real fast. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and put in just some little bit of dust, saliva texture. Little splatter pieces everywhere just to look disgusting. Have more fun with that saliva. And I'm going to make the saliva just go out a little further. And my computer decides it wants to update. All right, hurry up. And... all right, come on, computer. All right. And just put you want to show when you do the saliva kind of like a dumbbell set, and if the dumbbell was connected by, let's say, a rope, and then the dumbbell is tied, if you were to toss it, the weights would be pulling that rope. So that's how whenever you draw blood splatter or saliva, you want to kind of keep in mind that type of like rope in the middle, but weight that's carrying on the front. So you want to show whatever direction that it's going in, you know, like more weight up there, it gets a little bit thinner. And you kind of show stuff like that, like little bits of weight going around, that kind of thing, you know. Let's go through and finish up a little more of his body and his mouth. And then we can finish up some of that background. So just think of Venom in layers. Makes him more interesting. All his skin is just, it's a symbiote that is very, very flexible. So you want to make it appear to bend and stretch and go over layers and stuff like that. All right, let's drop in more shadow and shape in here. Can add more value and blend out of the black into a little bit of a highlight right here. So the gradation, the way that you render and shade out of the black shape into your highlight, that gradation, you want a smooth transition, create the illusion that there is different, for one, you're emphasizing the shape and the form. The other part, you are wanting to add those values that I keep mentioning. It adds dimension to your work. See, on the edge of him, I want to keep it smooth, actually. I want a rim light, keep that a little smoother. This is all just with one crow quill. You could change it up if you want. You don't have to render. Oh, I forgot one of my dogs is in the house. God, dog it. They're all supposed to be outside. I have one that I created called it's a chisel edge. I like using that chiseled edge to change up the type of rendering sometimes. And sometimes I want a little angular. Just to create different little patterns within my Venom. Boy, Venom has a lot of black, doesn't he? So the good thing about drawing with this lasso fill tool really trains your eye for shapes. You learn to see your art in its simplest form. That's all that, anything that you draw, it's geometric shapes. And that's all it is. So you can draw anything in its basic geometric shapes. Make sure I didn't lose the drawing here. Let's see. Here's that his tongue is going to extend right here. And then just, achieving these perfect little lines just from that crow quill that you vary your line weight. It's such a great tool to use. So what makes Venom so fun and interesting is his design, like what you could do with him. And just make everything interesting, make his tongue, his saliva, exaggerate his mouth. You can do so much to the character to just make him dynamic and really visually stimulating and interesting. And then he's mostly just a big black shape that you can just really, and he's big, you can fake a lot of his anatomy and just draw him so quickly. We'll zoom out again, let you guys see real quick what I've got so far. And let me say hi to you guys. Go through. Into Paint says, I never use Clip Studio Paint, even though I've got it. Oh, well, I mean, it's a good program. I'd say, there is a learning curve at the beginning, learning any program. You got to get used to the program. And once you're comfortable in the program, once I was comfortable in the program, I found that there was a lot of things you could do. And the more I learn about Clip Studio, the more I like it. And so I've been very, very pleased with it, very happy with Clip Studio. It's highly customizable. And I use it professionally, meaning that I use it to get work. I use it for work, to make money. And where was I going with this here? Lost my train of thought. Oh, so I needed, something that a type of program that can do, that's very versatile, and being customizable, it allows me to change my workflow as I grow as an artist based on my needs. And so it's been a good program. Hasn't crashed on me once. So I'm very grateful for that. I have a decent machine, so I don't have the most powerful computer, but it's not a bad computer, you know. And let's see. I'll show you guys the screen again. Save my work before I forget. Creator says, Jimmy, glad you're looking good. Keep up the art. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been eating better, lost weight, and my diabetes gotten better. It's as if it's almost reversed. My numbers aren't where perfect, but they are a lot better. And so thank you so much. Yeah, and I've been trying to rest properly, eating right. You know, my wife really, I'm very blessed to have her. She's helped me out so much. And, you know, without her, I wouldn't be eating as healthy. And so I definitely, you know, appreciate her. But exercise is important. I need to do more of it. You know, if I want to be around, you know, for my granddaughter's graduation and wedding and stuff like that, I've definitely got to take care of myself. And as artists, we can, it's easy to neglect it because we sit for so long. And you guys don't want to do that. You want to take care of yourself, you know. You guys, we should all be, you know, trying our best to take care of ourselves as much as we can, you know. But I appreciate you asking. Thank you. It's very kind. In a world where people seem to focus on the world of the internet, people seem to focus on the negativity. People just seem to want to just, for, I don't know if you're just bored or what, they just want to give negative energy to people or try to make things difficult for somebody. Or it's nice to see, you know, you have a positive, you know, type of energy about you, you know, asking and giving positive things. I noticed that in my life experience, my opinion, the people that I see out there that are positive and that aren't trolling, that are positive, are the ones that are happy. And the ones that are out there just trying to do negative things just aren't happy. And I feel bad for them, you know. Wish that I could help them with happiness, but because that time you spend with a negative energy, you know, being negative online, you could have done something productive and positive towards your life or towards somebody else's, making your life better. The old bumper sticker, don't be bitter, be better. You know, and trolling, man, it's gone downhill. I remember the days when I was a kid, like trolling would be like, we do those crank calls, call somebody up, you know, but trolling would be, used to be done with creativity. It used to be witty, creative. Now people think that just being malicious and aggressive is trolling. That's not trolling. That's just being mean. That's just lazy. You know, be a good troll. Be creative. Be funny. Be witty. Something that isn't going to harm somebody, but that's going to make people laugh. You know, that's trolling. You know, where you're like, oh, you got me. It's a prank, but it's not harmful. You know, where it seems like today people are like, I stuck a black mamba in his lunchbox and he got bit by the black mamba. Then he died. Oh, I'm a good troll. It's so hilarious. It's like, what? No. You know, trolling used to be witty and creative. You know, I think I'm going to have to start trolling people and remind people of what good trolling looks like. How funny. I like humor. I like being funny. I'm very creative. Plus I'm good with the put down jokes. I don't know. I got off topic there. Sorry. I do that when I draw. My brain just goes places. So in case you're wondering, what the hell? What did he? Yep. But yeah, people that are positive, you know, I think it'll reflect in your work too, your work and your life. You know, just being positive, putting out that positive energy out there as much as you can, makes you feel better. Scientists believe that by simply smiling, you're able to reprogram your brain and to your body will then create the serotonin and hormones that make us feel good and happy by simply smiling. I smile at people in public when I see somebody. I give them a, you know, hey, and smile. Or how are you doing? Because you never know how their day is going. I'm not an introvert, which is weird for an artist. Most of us are comfortable in our little bubbles. I'm not a loner. I like people. You know, I'd like to try to help people as I can, much as I can. Let's see. John Palomo says, that's being a bully. Oh, that's the word, bully. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like trolling should be funny, witty, and nobody gets harmed. You know, those are the really good trolls that are creative, you know, but there just seems to be this, I don't want to say this younger generation, but I just see it online where people are just trying to harm somebody else's business, or I don't know. And I just go, no. Or now they're calling it detracting. And I'm like, detracting is cancel culture. You can call it whatever you want, but it's still cancel culture. I have good friends that do it, but you know, I like, to each their own, you know. That's what people want to do. I'm not, it's not for me. I don't do that, but you know, people do what they want to do, and you know, you live your life how you want, you know. I can't tell people how to do it. I can just be an example. We can all just be examples, you know. So I've created little shadows of his teeth, just kind of within his mouth. You can kind of see if the light was in front of his teeth are over the inside of his mouth. So it would cast a little bit of shadow in there. Just little things like that to, where was I? Core says, hello, love Venom. Hey, yeah, Venom is one of my favorite characters. I don't really know a whole lot. I don't really read superhero stuff too much, but I do like the anti-hero characters. Like I like Venom, Ghost Rider. I love the Midnight Suns. If you guys ever remember that series, Adam Kubert. I just remember his art, man, and the Midnight Suns, Doctor Strange, and the Darkhold book and stuff. I read that back in the 90s. I love that stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I like. I like the anti-hero stuff. So when it came to like, hey, I need to draw something that has a lot of black shadow in it because I wanted to show off my pencils, which, by the way, if you guys are wondering, here is the pencils that I'm using. All the pencils, all of the brushes, they're all custom made. They're made to use in my professional career. They've all been used to ink over guys like David Finch. I've had them printed on books through Image Comics. I think I may have done some digital on Avengers. When I was on Avengers, I think I did some of my early digital stuff. And so these are stuff that I use in my work. The inker set and the penciler set. So you can actually pencil with a brush that feels like a pencil, one that actually, I mean, if you guys have watched my live streams before, the pencils that I was using that I had downloaded, man, I mean, no offense to anybody else creating them, but wow, I struggled drawing with those brushes because I don't think those people that created them really drew traditionally, and I think they just created a brush to kind of mimic what they thought a pencil. Like I feel like they have forgotten what a traditional pencil would feel like or should feel like. So I created my own, and I've got templates in there to help you guys out. The templates are designed specifically for drawing comics. These aren't the same template that you get in the inking kit. The inking kit, you necessarily need anything but the resolution and the template size. That's all you need. But in the penciling kit, you do need the trim guide. You do need the safe image area guide. You do need the gutter. You do need the binding on the double page. So all those guides are in these templates because that's what a penciler needs. So the template in the penciler kit, designed for penciling, template kit in the inker kit, designed for inking. The free template that you can get on my Gumroad page. Go to my Gumroad page by simply clicking the link in the description. You come over to my Gumroad page, and there is a free gift for you guys. I will put this link in the description. You guys can get a free brush, a free template. The template that comes in this is the basic template to get you started. It's a basic template so that you're drawing within the right proportions, but it doesn't have all the specifics like the type of guides. In the inker template, you have your setup, where I set up my pencil layer, my ink layer. You get examples of that. But on here in the free gift, you'll get a template and to get you started. So if you guys are interested while you're watching me as well, click on that link, go over and get yourself a free gift. Get the free Kolinsky Sable brush. I'll ink with that next right now, and you guys can see. Oh, well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. I appreciate you watching and being here. You're definitely appreciated, and I do want you to know that. I appreciate everybody watching. Darmic says, lastly, you add a splash of blood. Yeah, there you go. Venom, big and black. And he says that was racist, Jimmy. Oh, what I said earlier. What do you recommend is the best way for traditional pencil and paper artists to transition to digital? I showed that earlier. Now, this is going to sound a little biased because of the fact that it's in my kit. So for me, I'm a traditional penciler that had to transition into working digital because I want to take advantage of the digital tools that are used. So for me is I created brushes that can work and function with that work and function like traditional. So I've created these pencils that'll work like whether you're used to the wooden pencil or you're used to a mechanical pencil. And then I give you one to just fill in large shaded areas so you can get your illustrations and fill in your negative area, spot your black just fast, like that. You can shade in that negative area really fast. If you're used to drawing on traditional paper, I have a template set up for traditional with a traditional template that has your safe copy area, your trim area, your full bleed area, and it has the information you can put up top, the book, the issue, the story. So this will get you started if you're used to drawing traditionally. So I've had you guys in mind because I was one of those artists. So you use that template. But if you're already comfortable enough working digitally, then you don't need that. When you work digitally, then you already can just use the template that is in here in the file itself. So here's what the Inker template doesn't have. The Inker template has 6.88 by 10.5, 600 DPI, which is the safe area you want to have, when you're working on your artwork files. But as a penciler artist, there are more that you have to consider. You have to consider the trim area. This red line shows the width right there. If you can see that where the top area is and the side width, anything outside that will get trimmed. Means that it will get cut off. So you want to draw within this safe image area. This is the area that if it was on an 11 by 17 artboard, it would measure 10 by 15. 10 by 15 is what we as comic book artists, we draw within 10 by 15 on 11 by 17 artboard. So just remember 10 by 15 is what you really want to remember. If you're lettering, which I don't have a letterer kit because I'm not a letterer, but if you're lettering, you want to letter within another safe area, which I may put that in and update the template. I may put all this in here for you. I will. I'm going to design this guide and put it in the template for you guys. Just so when you're drawing, you keep in mind where your figures should be and try to visualize where the balloons will be, your word balloons. You want to kind of stay within a general area. So that way you don't make the job as hard for your letterer. When your letterer comes in, it's really their job to figure it out. Let them figure it out. But you want to be a little mindful of that, just to kind of be polite and to save yourself any headache down the line. So this is why this penciler template is designed differently than any other template. It's very important to have this. And any updates that I do, when I update this one and put in these guides, so the guides are already there, but these color guides, which I will color them and label them and make it even easier for you guys to be able to visualize. And anytime I update anything in my sets, you get them for free. Once you've purchased it, you purchased it for life. So as long as Gumroad's in existence, you can log back on Gumroad, re-download it again, put it in your new computer, or if you've switched computers or you accidentally deleted a portion of the set, you can go back, get the brushes again or get whatever file you need. And anytime I update, it's updated for free. Guys like John who's watching, he saw the Crow Quill. I updated the Crow Quill. It's included in the penciler set. I included the Crow Quill, but that Crow Quill is also, when I update it and put it in the nuke set, I also put it in the Inker set and updated that, and people got that for free that already purchased it. So I've been updating that Crow Quill since 2018. So you have 2018 updates, 2019, 2020, all the way through. You now have the 2024 update, and it's dated November with the update. And that type of Crow Quill, even myself, I've been inking with it for 30 years, and I still haven't gotten it exactly the way I want it for to be an exact feel of a Crow Quill. It hasn't gotten that. The technology hasn't quite gotten there to be 100% feel of that. But I've worked hard to get my Crow Quill. You can bet my Crow Quill is very close, very close. And it's the closest that I've ever seen. It's the only pen designed by an inker for inkers. I'm the only inker right now, I'm sure there'll be more, that has gone digital, and I'm the first inker to go digital. Since then, Chuck Gibson's gone digital. He's really, really good. And we've got more that are going. We'll do the lines the other way. That are going digital, and a lot of my peers, working professionals, have gotten my brush sets. 5,000 customers. Everybody has been very, very satisfied. I only make brushes that function. And I said it before, I'm not in the business of making brushes to be a retailer. I make these brushes for myself. And I make sure they work. Otherwise, there's no point having that brush or releasing that brush. A lot of research and development goes into it before it will ever be offered to you guys. But a lot of my peers, because big name artists buy my brushes. And like I said, Chuck Gibson, he's mentioned that he's bought my brush. I can say his name. He's an inker from Wildstorm. He's a veteran, been in the industry for a long, long time. He left for a little while, but I think he's back now. He's doing digital work now. Dave Finch bought my brush set. And, I mean, he was a legitimate customer. He actually purchased it, bought it. And a lot of you guys are professionals watching right now. I mean, you guys can contest and see. You guys are good artists. So I'm trying to make each kit, each kit has a purpose and functions. So I won't be offering brushes individually or brush sets. The idea is to give you everything that you need for one specific job, for penciling, to give you the tools that you need to help you, Into Paints, who's got the program. He hasn't gotten comfortable with it yet, but I want to create a set that can help you guys, hop right in and get comfortable in transition from traditional to digital. Start taking advantage of the digital features. And so, did I put? Yeah, I did. I put my drawing back. Okay. I thought for a second there I was drawing. I thought I had the website up. All right. So the tongue, I want to make the tongue look layered. If you guys have ever stared at your tongues, I have. I'm weird like that. I study, and I have a good memory. I'm able to, once I've seen something, I can basically call it back to memory and draw it from memory because I've seen it before. Has its ups and downs to it, but so like Venom, I've got a long, long tongue, but it's squishy. It's a lot of strange, like tissue, soft tissue that's in our tongues. So I want to make it look like it's got these, all these different type of indentation and textures, and here you go. Here's a stupid talent, ridiculous talent. I don't even know if I would even say it's a talent that I've got. So I'm going to gross you guys out, right? So here it is. Look, see if you guys can see this. That is disgusting. But you guys came here for some entertainment, right? Gross. Yeah, long freaking tongue. But so I just kind of thought, when I was sketching it and drawing, I just kind of had my tongue in my mouth thinking like, oh, like you can move your tongue around any way, like, and what does that texture kind of feel like? And it sounds really gross and it's a stupid trick, but there's a reason why I'm showing you guys and talking about this stuff is because as silly as it sounds, we need to do a lot of that as artists, so that the more information that we have on something, the better that we can draw it. So a lot of times if you're thinking to yourself, well, what pose should this character be in? Well, get in that pose, move around. Drawing hands, we've got hands. Put your hand in front of the mirror, or draw your left hand. Make your characters left-handed. That's what a lot of us do. We just use if we're a right-handed artist, then you'll see a lot of left-handed hands in a book. That's how you know that artist is right-handed, because he took his left hand and he drew it. Kick off your shoes, draw your feet. We have the reference. Do it. And so I just thought a lot of people make Venom's tongue like the dog sticking his head out the car window, just blowing to the side. And I thought, nah, like, wouldn't Venom's tongue be like, can we have more fun with it? Like, let's whisk that tongue like out and in front of the camera and just bring it around. It's everywhere. It's like a frog tongue or something, just long and stretchy, because this symbiote can bend and change, and saliva just everywhere, like this bulldog I used to have. When he would run to us, his little tongue would kind of stick out, and his saliva was going everywhere. He was disgusting, but he was disgusting and cute all at the same time. So I recall that in my mind's eye, in memory, and when I'm drawing, I think of what did that feel like physically? Like when I would, that dog would come by. I didn't never grab his tongue, but he did get his saliva on me, and he would lick me. So, like, what was that like, man? And I recall on how disgusted I was when I loved that dog, but I hated when he would lick me. I was just like, my poor dog, man. He was just so lovable, and all he wanted to do was just show his love. And I was disgusted by that gesture. Just, and my wife would let him lick her all over the place. She's beautiful, got radiant skin, she's amazing. And yet she would let this dog who licks himself just lick her face. And but she didn't care. She loved the dog. She let him show his love and affection. I recall in that experience, in that memory, when I'm drawing this. And it just helps me get in the creative zone. It helps me think of in the world of this, and as artists, we have to. We can't be so snobby that we're not willing to embarrass ourselves for a moment and just sit there and like stick our tongue out and go, ooh, what does it look like? What is this, what would this look like in reality? And use that information to better our drawings, that kind of thing, Oops, I inked this in the wrong layer. I just realized. I was inking the Venom's hand, and I started inking in the wrong layer. That's why I always locked a layer, but I guess when I was doing the demo, I unlocked the layer. Okay, so I'm bringing things closer up to the camera to create the illusion of depth. And because I create that momentum in the tongue, and then if you were here earlier and watched, we've been going for 2 hours. I'm going to be ending the stream here in a little bit. Sorry that it's gone so long. I'll start speeding up in the drawing. And I did that background. You guys watched and saw that background go in, and just to create texture, movement, and energy in that type of effect with the background, to just make the artwork that is two-dimensional static image. We want to create the illusion of movement, energy, and excitement in the illustration. So you want it to just be bending, moving, and and wrinkling the mouth. There's layers moving even within the mouth. Have fun with the teeth. They're all over the place. Extend that jaw even further. Flex, the muscles, and just, there's a lot that we do to create dynamic illustrations, to create the illusion of a dynamic image on how we group our lines together. And that's what illustration is. It's an illusion. There is no image. There is no spoon, guys. There is no image. Think about it. This is just ones and zeros because it's digital, and traditional is just a series of lines. So that's why you want to break down in your mind's eye your drawing to the simplest form. Imagine it, visualize it in the simplest geometric shapes, and think about each individual line. Each individual line was placed by my hand. Not one line that you see here appeared on its own. None of that. It was all done by an artist hand, based on imagination. And even though Venom doesn't exist in reality, I based some of my drawing on personal experience. One, my long, gross-ass tongue. Two, my disgusting former bulldog that we gave up for adoption. He's making a retired veteran a happy buddy, and making somebody happy who needs it. And just, trying to use those type of experiences within my illustration. And then, of course, trying to do things, I don't really know this character that well. So I'm sure if I were to draw Venom more and more, I could do much more with the character. I could get much more creative with it as he becomes more familiar. I'd be able to draw him in different ways and go, oh, this is his personality, so he would do this. He'd make this gesture or facial expression. And as I become more familiar with the character, then I'd understand the character's body language. Body language is really important when you're drawing comics. How the character moves and gestures, what type of facial expressions, all that is exclusive to each character. You should, when you design your characters, always be thinking about what do their body language, how does it communicate? How would they communicate with their body, their facial expressions? And you'll find that that'll really, what separates the great artist from just average or novice artist. It's because we think this way. You're an artist, you're a genius. We think differently. A lot of thinking and information is required for an illustration, a good illustration. A good illustrator is somebody who's experienced life and draws from life experiences, and can do an interpretation from that. And that's what helped elevate my work. I'm not a great illustrator yet. I will be. I plan to be. I'm certainly going to try. I don't know if I can achieve it. I'm already 50. I started drawing late. And but I think I'm doing okay for somebody who, I didn't start drawing till I was 18 years old. I didn't know I had the ability to draw. I grew up very, very poor. There weren't any artists around. There weren't any comic books around. The only art I ever saw was body art and graffito on the walls of the convenience stores near me. That was the only art I was aware of. We grew up extremely poor. But when I was 18, I met a kid in my neighborhood whose mother was a professional artist. I went to his house, and she was making dinner. He was sitting at the dinner table, and they invited me over for dinner. And he was sketching away. He had a bunch of paper, pencils. He had comic books out, and he was drawing from John Buscema's Wolverine issue #1. And he slid the comic book over to me and a sheet of paper and a pencil. And he says, draw something. I said, okay. And I just looked at an image of Wolverine in the comic book, and I just drew what I saw. And he said, wow, that's awesome. And he showed it to his mom, a professional artist. And she said, Jimmy, that's great. How long have you been drawing? And I said, that right there, that's my drawing. She said, you couldn't have just drawn that. And I said, well, I was kind of worried. Like, I was a kid, I was 18. I didn't understand what she meant. Like, why couldn't I have just drawn that? I mean, that was my first drawing. I felt like I was being like an accusation, and I just felt like there was something wrong with me. Like, I didn't. And she's like, is that really the first time you've drawn? I said, yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know the art really existed. I didn't know people drew on paper. I've colored in coloring books as a kid. I've done that. And so I discovered art really late, and I got praise. And it was like grooming, Grooming is just simply, if you make a joke, people laugh, you get the attention. You want to make more jokes, make people laugh more. That's grooming, right? And so when I got attention and praise for my art, I wanted to do more of it. So I drew night and day. I was still pretty poor. I was 18 years old, adopted by my sister and we still didn't have a whole lot of money. But so what I did was, and I don't recommend doing this, but I would go and volunteer at in my high school, volunteer at the in the office in the front. And when I was there in the front, I would steal copy paper. Yep, I stole paper to draw on, and I'm ashamed of it. But that was how I got my art supplies. And they had a little, I was able to go to this little like closet, a metal bin closet, and you open it up, and they had ballpoint pens, pencils. They had reams of copy paper. I would take, not the whole ream, but I would take a big chunk of copy paper, take pencils and take pens, because I didn't have my sister. She adopted me, but she worked all the time. And I was by myself at home with really nothing to do. And I found comic book art, and I didn't have any money to buy comics. And I didn't have an allowance or anything like that. My poor sister was just working 2 jobs just to, support us. She was young, very, very young, and was taking care of me. And I was getting to the point where I was starting to think about a job. I was going to have to get a job. But I fell in love with art. And no, not art, a man, artwork. Just kidding. And so I fell in love with artwork, just drawing. And I did it every day, all day. And in 1 year, I got my first professional work. I was married at age 18, and I was going to be a father at age 19, and I didn't have the option like some people can say, well, I'm gonna go to art school. Mom and dad are paying for it. I'm just gonna, goof around with my friends, and I don't know if I want to be an artist. I didn't have that luxury. It was do or die. It was become a comic artist or become a burger flipper at McDonald's, which if you're doing that, it's a job. I'm just being silly here. It's a job. Don't be ashamed of it. I would have flipped burgers if I had to, but got my first professional work because I had to do it. I had to be good at art. I got hired and then quickly became an inker and went off and became an inker for 30 years. Katie Did's channel says $2 from Katie Did's channel. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Katie, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. I appreciate the $2. It really, really helps this channel out, because this channel is solely supported by you and your donations. All the equipment, me being able to pay for streaming, that comes from you guys. Without you, this wouldn't happen, because I can't afford to just pay for this stuff myself. And I like to do this for you guys. TJ Inks is here, man. Appreciate you being here. Another talented individual. Appreciate that you're here. Krabby Patty says, stole paper. How could you ever financially recover? Arrest him, officer. Yeah, I didn't do it for very long, but I did. And I drew on paper. So when I showed my first samples to Antarctic Press, it was on paper. They were the ones that gave me Bristol board to draw on, and I was started out as a penciler, and Ben Dunn was very, very nice at the beginning. I don't know what happened between me and Ben. I still to this day, I've asked him, but he won't answer me. I don't know what I ever did to the guy. He's holding something against me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I offended him or what I did, other than just surpass him artistically. No, I'm just kidding, Ben. I'm just kidding. I've always looked up to the guy. I've always, and it really hurt my feelings a lot because I admired the guy. He was the first professional, first artist to sit down and draw with me. He literally sat down and drew with me or drew over my drawings. He helped me out so much at the beginning. And then it just quickly changed. I don't know what happened, but I'm told, we're artists. I don't know. I don't want to say he's petty. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying as artists, we can be petty, including myself. I'm including myself in that. So I don't know what happened, but I became an inker. I then left and moved on to bigger companies. And as an inker, and I was afraid to become a penciler. I didn't think I had what it takes to be a penciler. I doubted myself. So I stopped drawing. I just kept inking. And I could not support myself and my family as an inker. There wasn't enough money, pay rate. I mean, it's a good amount. I make when I work professionally in mainstream, I make $250 a page. And having a family and having a wife and a mortgage and kids need dental. This is when my kids were young. I could not support my family solely on inking. I would have to ink so much, like crazy. And I tried, but it wasn't enough. And I decided that I want to go back to school. And I went back and I got an associate's degree in graphic design. And I worked as a graphic designer and did comic books on the side. So I had benefits, a 401k, and not trying to deter anybody, but I'm giving you guys the real talk. If you guys are wanting to be comic book artists, understand that unless you can get an exclusive contract to become an employee and have them work benefits, which, you're not, I mean, it's not going to happen now in the comic book industry in the current state. But you used to be able to, pencilers would generally were the ones, as inkers, few inkers like Danny Mickey could get exclusives. Just a few, Scott Williams, not a lot of inkers were getting exclusives. And I continued inking part-time. So I worked 30 years part-time as an inker, simply for the love of the medium. And when I left mainstream, my page rate was $250 per page. And when I first started, I started at $100 a page. There were some times where I even inked a few stuff in the mainstream for $80 a page. It would fluctuate. Sometimes would get hard, and times would get hard and difficult times, and I needed the work. You need to take on as much. So I'd be inking pages at $250 a page, and some pages I'd be inking at $80 a page, and some I'd get just whatever I could get, and I'd ink independents, I'd ink mainstream stuff, I'd ink whatever I got. Beggar can't be chooser. I was doing it part-time. But because I was a graphic designer, graphic design was becoming obsolete. I learned to code on my own. I taught myself how to code web pages and became a web developer. And was an amazing career, made a good living. Then that crashed. And I still continued to do a little bit of, inking, because I love inking. And let me see here. Where would his shoulder be at? trying to think of what his shoulder would be. So anyway, what I'm getting at, and just kind of sharing with you guys the reality, comic book business. And I was diagnosed with heart failure, nearly lost my life. I'm still a heart failure patient, but I'm out of heart failure. I'm doing better, but I have to always minimize stress. I always have to take care of myself. If not, I mean, it's something that's I have to take very seriously, you know. And so I was diagnosed with heart failure, and I'm grateful that I had a 401k. I had retirement. You know, what do they call my retirement? Subsidiary? A subsidiary or something like that? I forget what I get. So when I became medically retired, I fell back on my retirement. And it's not much, you know, it's pennies, but I'm grateful I had something. In comic book art, you don't have a retirement. You don't have a 401k. You need to plan for your retirement. And what I recommend, that's why these artists are saying, oh, I really need to keep traditional art. I've got to keep it because I got to sell it when I'm old and can't draw in my retirement. I got to rely on that. I mean, okay, that's one way. You know, the other thing too is put away money, put away money, and put away in a retirement, in your own retirement, you know, and you know, something that's not such a high risk. But I'm not a financial person, so I'm not giving advice. But I mean, I know some stuff, but I'm not, you know, I'm not a professional to give advice. But plan ahead. Another thing too, create your own character. Create something. Have equity in a character you've created. If it's a dream for yours to work for Marvel and draw Wolverine or draw Venom or whatever, by all means, you know, feel free to do it. But know that at some point you're going to get older. You're going to need retirement. You're going to retire at some point. And, or you could be, you know, like me, where unfortunately, you know, my health declined. And I can't work the hours that I used to. I can't do other jobs that I would have been able to do, simply because of, I mean, I can't even do a monthly comic book because of the fact that I can't sit like this for hours because of my health. So crowdfunding, thankfully, I have crowdfunding. I can still do a comic book crowdfunded. I'm so grateful for that. The other thing too is if you get sick, you know, what are you going to fall back on? You know, so a lot of you guys right now that are learning other skills, other crafts, you know, say right now you want to be a comic artist, but you haven't broken in yet. And right now you're working as, you know, doing UI for apps, you know, user interface for apps, right? That's an amazing job. Be grateful for that, because all the skills that I learned, now that I'm doing my own comic book, created my own comic book, I know how to do the graphic design on my book. I know how to do the pre-production. I know how to do and design my own website. That's why going digital for me was so comfortable, because I've been in the digital art realm my whole career. As you know, working outside of comics, I had to work in Photoshop. I had to work in Illustrator. I did vector illustrations in Illustrator for t-shirts. You know, I've done vector illustrations for UI, for user interface graphics for apps. I designed a lot of those, you know, the interface stuff. I did all vector. I did websites. I did a lot of graphics back in the day. It used to be vector, and then we convert it. And now that I'm creating my own comic book, I noticed that other creators out there, they just know how to pencil. They're amazing pencilers. They spend years refining that skill. That's all they know, and they have to pay somebody to do all the other stuff. And for me, I can lower that overhead down by the fact that I know how to design video. I can edit video, self-taught. I was, you know, I got an associate's degree in graphic design, but self-taught how to write code. You know, I taught myself HTML way back in the day. I worked on cascading style sheets. I mean, all kinds of stuff, you know, all front end web development. Self-taught. I've recently taught myself how to color. So if somebody like me, just a goofy guy like me, can learn and teach himself how to ink, teach myself how to draw, teach myself how to color, how to letter. If I can do it, you guys certainly can do it. You guys, you know, you have the potential. Just have the mindset that you can do it and you will do it. Tell yourself, I am working on becoming a comic book artist. I will be a comic book artist. Or I am a comic book artist. Whatever it is you want to say, just don't set that roadblock. Practice, practice, practice. Every second you can, every minute that you get to sit and doodle and draw something. Do it. Don't just talk about it. Do it. Put pen to paper, pencil to paper, whatever it is that you want to do. That's how you're going to get better. You study, you watch videos like this, and you learn, right? You're studying, you're observing, and you're learning, and hopefully you'll be able to retain at least 30% of whatever it is you saw today or watch, or wherever you've learned, or if it was here. Then the other way you're going to learn is you have to apply it. Spend hours applying that knowledge, because that application, you applying what you've learned, is where you're really going to learn. You ever heard that you can go to school years, but you really learn the most on the job? That's drawing. You can study and watch somebody draw for hours, but it isn't going to be as beneficial to you until you draw. And you get out there, you do it, you figure it out, get on the field, get in the battle, you know, and do it. And that's where you're going to learn, you know, the trial and errors, and you're going to go through crummy drawings, right? I hate to say it. I did thousands of crappy drawings, but you know what? I had to go through those crappy drawings to get to these drawings that are actually where that I can actually make money from. I'm not perfect. I'm still somebody, like I said, I started late penciling. I'm still learning quite a bit myself here, but go through those crappy drawings. Don't get discouraged. Know that each time you're putting out a crappy drawing, it's going to sound funny and stupid, but it's good advice. And I mean this. Know that each time you're putting down a drawing that you dislike, that you go, oh, this is crappy, shitty artwork. Know that each time you are putting out a crappy, shitty artwork, you're getting closer and closer to that beautiful, beautiful artwork that people will admire and people will want to buy. So you got to get those crummy drawings out of the way. So can't help it. There's no way around it, you know, unless you plan on using AI. You know, so started getting those crappy drawings out of the way. Work on them now. Get them out now, especially if you're young, you know, and you'll find with anything, repetition, things become more familiar, easier, and artwork, it's no different. I'm going to say thank you to the gaming mechanic, man, for $5 a game. Oh, thank you, man. You didn't even say anything. He just donated. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Like I said, guys, this channel, if you guys would like me to be able to create more videos, tutorials, do live streams to help you guys out, give you more insight into the comic book industry, and share my personal experience. I can't tell you exactly how the industry is and how the industry works, because I can only share how the industry was for me, what my personal experience was when I was out there. As I'm looking at my drawing, I'm going to correct something here. So I curved the lines going this direction. No, I did it right. I did. I just didn't curve them out enough, I think. Okay. I'm trying to emphasize the shape. Oh, this is what's wrong. So what you do as you're drawing, and the reason that you need to draw and draw and draw is that you're starting to train your eye to develop your eye. And the only way to do that is you have to go through those crappy drawings. And you sit back and look at your drawing and don't just think to yourself, oh, it's a crappy drawing, because that's what I used to do a lot. And I avoided penciling for years. I just stayed an inker because I doubted myself. I was my biggest roadblock. And analyze your work and go, why didn't this work? Why doesn't it work? Why does it look this way? What could I do to make this drawing, to improve this illustration? You know, what could I do differently to improve it? And I'm a big believer in redraw. Scrap it, draw it again. The more you draw something, the better you become at it, more familiar. And I'll bet you anything, if I draw Venom a second time, you're going to see a difference in the way that I draw him in little areas, because I'm going to go, oh, I've learned this. Now it looks like the claw is coming out. I got to cover that with a fist. It's got to be behind that hand. Let's put a little light, show that knuckle right there. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I will probably clip this part here and make this a time lapse or speed it up a little bit for you guys. But that's Venom, guys, right there. And that's just using the tools that I've created to better my workflow, you know, to make things, you know, much faster and efficient. If you think about it, this could have been, say this is a cover, right? I would have done a cover in, what have we been streaming? 2 hours, 44 minutes. I would have almost finished the cover in 3 hours. So imagine being able to finish up your illustration for within, you know, 3 hours. You know, imagine that, being able to get something done that fast. The game mechanics it was for the art lesson. Oh, thank you, man. I really do. Like I said, I do appreciate that. Krabby Patty says, looks sick. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, if any of you guys are interested, I do have a pencil set that I have created here. And I want to offer you guys, there is free things as well. Two things that I want to offer you for free. One, I want to go ahead and I will give somebody a free penciler set. John is already one of the people. I'm going to comp a free, the entire set for free in exchange for your honest review. You simply, what you do is when I send you a code, it will be for, it'll waive the entire fee. You type in your discount code, you download this kit, and then on the top up there, it'll say rate it. So after you've gotten the download, you simply just decide on your rating, and whatever it is you feel is fair, you give it your rating on there. I'm very, very confident. As I said, people have rated my past brushers are at a perfect 5. Some are at a 4.9. They're still getting ratings. So I know that my brushes will hit that 5. The higher the ratings, you know, the better scoring I get on Gumroad. And the more that Gumroad will show my brushes. The more brushes I can sell, then the more, you know, I will be able to make more kits like this for you guys to help you guys out along the way. And I also make these, like I said, for myself to use in my own work environment. But I want to give this, and how do you get that? Is to be one of the first people to go over to jimmyreyesart.com and jimmyreyesart.com, click on contact, and there's an email there. It's contact@jimmyreyesart.com. Send me an email letting me know that you are interested in that. You're interested in receiving a comp copy of it in exchange for a rating, that you're going to promise to leave a rating on there. I'm not telling you guys what rating to leave. I want honest ratings. So you guys, if you feel the set's worth a 3, give it a 3. If you feel it's worth a 5, give it a 5. I'm only going to do this for a handful of people. When I say handful, maximum of 5. First 5 people, 4 people now. John's one of them. And so the other 4 of you guys interested in do that. Those of you that, simply want to go ahead and support as well, and you want to invest in yourself, you want to improve your inking, you can get the new inking kit. I've reduced the price from $25 after successful, what has it been, 4 years of over 5,000 have been purchased. I'm so grateful to those. Many of them are professionals, working professionals, top guys in the comic book industry. And I'm telling you that this is something I'm very, very proud of. And it's got a great score on Gumroad. I lowered the price to $15 now, simply so that, I know that for professionals, it's no problem. Professionals, it's a no-brainer. They go, hey, I'm worth that $15 is worth it. An investment in myself, because it's going to improve my workflow and do quality line work. And that quality line work and helping me meet deadlines going to get me more work. So professionals, they buy it. They got it all at $25. Aspiring artists, where I know you're on a budget, you're not making money yet on your artwork, and yet you want to get to the point where you can. So I've lowered that price, keeping you guys in mind, and I'm adding to the kit. So I updated for the pencilers as well. There's a penciling set. It comes with everything that you need to get started, so that you're drawing with a proper, in the proper dimensions, on a template, in the proper area, the right resolution. Pencils that actually function and work like pencils. A big shading pencil to help speed up your workflow. Like you saw, I drew this cover. We could get this cover done in 3 hours. Get some nice artwork done very, very quickly. And so you guys are probably even faster than I am. You guys maybe be able to get through this even faster, but I design things that are going to help my workflow. When I say workflow, to speed up and streamline so that I can meet deadlines. Deadlines will make or break your career. You miss deadlines, you will never work in this industry again. You need to make your deadlines. So anything that will help you make that deadline, I am for that. So it's a decision you make on your own. You ask yourself, is $12, am I willing to invest $12 into my career and into my own art skill? That's a decision that you've got to make, but it's there. I have that option for you. These 2 sets are the only 2 out there. There's nobody else creating this stuff. It blows my mind. I don't understand, other than they're being stingy. Maybe they've created great brushes and a good workflow, and they do not want competition. They want you missing your deadline, so they make the deadline, they get the work. Not me on this. Like I said, I love meeting other artists, helping other artists. I'm not in the business of making brushes. These were made for me, myself, but many of you guys watching my stream have asked. So I've put these together for you, and I'm trying to keep the price down as low as I can. So your super chats, and the more that people buy, the lower I can make the price, because 5,000 people at $25 bought this inker set. I can now lower that price, and hopefully continue more and more people buying it. The more I sell, the more I can lower that. So appreciate that. And you guys, thank you again for watching. Here's the final drawing, and we'll see you guys again in the next live stream, and keep you guys up to date on everything Jimmy Reyes. Sign up for my newsletter at jimmyreyesart.com. All right, I'll see you guys, and remember, draw as often as you can.